Seeing as we're in here, we're in Medicine Hat this year, I thought it'd be kind of neat to talk about our Medicine Hat research and demonstration site, the partnership we have with Cypress County. You guys might be wondering why I started with a picture of myself. It's because I've been getting razzed for the last 3 or 4 days about my facial hair, so I just wanted to make sure that all my new Twitter followers were going to recognize me when they see me at Farm Tech or somewhere else coming up. A little about myself. I'm the small plot research coordinator at Farming Smarter. So Ken's kind of described me as a mad scientist. I'm kind of neither mad nor a scientist, but I'm definitely not a farm boy. I grew up in the city, just kind of learning to drive the farm equipment and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm getting there with my agronomic skills, but I'm definitely more of a kind of a research type guy. So that's why I do the small plot research. About the Med Hat site, it's located just on 41A. We usually sneak in, we bypass Med Hat through Dunmore, and if I zoom in, there's a little sign there, so if you're ever coming down that highway, you'll be able to see it, and if we're ever there, just pop on by, come say hi, see what we're doing. We'll show you all the plots. This is a map of our site. Over on this right-hand side here is our kind of our original 3 blocks, and so we run it in usually like a barley research plot or chem fallow rotation. We were lucky enough this year to get it doubled so that we had room to put all our research plots in there. It's a really great site for this stuff, so I'm looking forward to the fact that we've doubled our capacity there, and there's lots of cool things we're going to do with that. Gives us a really great opportunity to expand our reach in southern Alberta, especially bring, you know, our plot tour over here in usually the first week of August or the last week of July. And it's just a really good opportunity for local and regional data instead of relying on all the data we get in Lethbridge all the time. So some of the main benefits are all pretty obvious. Different soil qualities. This is a picture I took when we were seeding in the Hat. It's, you know, you got really sandy soil, definitely differences in fertility and stuff like that as well. Different climate, way better growing degree days here. Little harsher winters. We've had some problems establishing some of our winter pulse crops and stuff like that. And you know, we'd run a lot of trials that required a specific rotation or a tillage practice or even weed population. So it's really nice to have a other place we can go to and find those things. This picture was actually taken from one of Eric Johnson's plots on the Carinata trial. So that's just Russian thistle that we don't really get in Lethbridge, but it's good to get data on that. And it's a really annoying weed to have in your plots, unless you have leather gloves on. The only probably downside of having plots out here is, of course, there's some late nights, a little more travel time and stuff like that. And you have to be creative when you're fixing equipment. Had a few things go wrong. I think this happened like 6 o'clock. We had like a couple plots left to combine, and the hydraulic broke. So we jacked it up on the trailer and just decided, you know, if we used enough duct tape, we saw it on Mythbusters, that we figured it would work, and it held up so we could just kind of combine the rest of our demo plots and get out of there. Really got to thank CCAN, Cypress County Canola Council, Alberta Canola Producers Commission, Agriculture Opportunity Fund, Government of Alberta, Government of Canada, Agrizoma, and the Alberta Pulse Growers. These guys are a huge, important part of us being able to put on the field tour and the things we do out there. So Brian Barris, we ran through a couple trials. We had the winter wheat projects, so we had 4 of them out there, plus a variety trial this year. And that's just a picture of some of our really cool looking plots. Guy Lafon talked earlier about a project that's a lot like the one we had, one of his and Brian Barris's trials out there. So this is kind of scientific speak for what the project was, but really what it's saying is exactly what he described in his presentation about comparing the fertilizer, or comparing, sorry, the yields if we have different rates of fertilizer applied with and without the green seeker based on whether or not the farmer would have done it or what the green seeker tells us to do. And looking at the data, it's exactly what he said. It looks like the green seeker does a really good job of predicting what will happen. So in the auction last night, Ken bid on this little green seeker for us over here. That's the big green seeker that we use, and it's a little more high tech. It gets more numbers, but I'm really looking forward to kind of using this one because it's a lot simpler to use, obviously, than that. A little less heavy and less chances of kind of losing data in the old system that it uses. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that compares to what we use already. And I didn't see Guy Lafond show this, so I thought I would. This is the chart that we used that he gave us for calculating the amount of UAN to put down on the plot. So up in the top left, it's got the rep number, and there's an NDVI for the nitrogen-rich strip. There's the rate of the NDVI that we get from the green seeker itself, spot for growing degree days, end use efficiency, ideal grain content and all that. And then it outputs an amount of UAN for us that we could then put into our sprayer and spray the trial. These guys were bugging me with the green seeker too. I didn't have a chance to green seek my lettuce, but actually I was playing around with it earlier. And if you think about the way that green seeker works is if you tried to green seek something really green like lettuce, you wouldn't actually get a value because it's just picking up all the green, and I kept getting error messages on it. So our field day, we did a few other things this year. Brian Storzinski talked about sprayer technologies. Daryl Males talked about the Agrizoma project. We had a whole bunch of demos, canola fertility matrix. We did some enhancers and stuff like that. Pulse fungicide demo, had a CNEP demo or CCAN demo and Winter Pulse demo. So we're always looking for great ideas. If you have any, come talk to Ken, myself. You know, the stuff we do is for all the producers out there to come and see and learn. So we want to do things that are going to be beneficial to you. I'm going to talk a little bit about the regional variety trials because they take up a lot of room out in Medhat. Before we expanded, they took about half of our research space. Now it's obviously about a quarter. So these are really important for providing you guys with yearly local data on the yield potential, on the field performance, and new varieties. And of course, that goes into the Alberta Seed Guide. And you know, don't forget to use these resources because I use them a couple times a year, selecting stuff for demos and that. So we run green peas, yellow peas, lentils, chickpeas, and durum. I'm just gonna quickly go through the yield results that we got. Just keep in mind these are our results from Medicine Hat. And I think these were in the new section of land that we got. So it was a little lower fertility. It was like a wheat canola or wheat fallow rotation, I think it was on historically. So just bear that in mind. Don't jump to any conclusions, but they'll give you a good idea of what varieties yielded out here for us anyways. So the big winner there was, I think Frontier was the only one to hit 30 bushels an acre on our site. And Corrine and Orion were the other two good ones. Anything in the high 20s there were the ones that did the best for us. For the green peas, Patrick, Pluto, and Cooper were probably the three best ones that we had. And yellow peas, Abarth, Meadow, and Saffron were probably the three best, but they're all not too bad, within 25%, I guess. The lentils, I highlighted a whole bunch there, and I think I made the green ones are the ones that did over 30 bushels an acre, and then the red ones were our lowest three. So I'm not sure if you guys remember the numbers what you might have grown or how they compare to these, but if you want to know more, just come talk to me after. We also did durum this year, and they were actually all really good. I didn't put anything in red. All pretty consistent, I guess. I'm not sure if those are good yield values. I'm not a farmer, like I said. This was just another resource that I found, obviously. This is on the Ag Canada site, or one of the ARD sites, I think. And, you know, it's just one of those flip books, so make sure you take advantage of these type things. I went and kind of looked at a few of our varieties and how they compared to the rest of the regions and stuff like that, and it's all pretty good data. So you can go, Canola Performance Trials has the same sort of thing too. You can check your variety that way. I'm just going to talk about the CCAN yields really quick too. Trent Whiting, our CCAN rep down here, does a tour every year for his seed growers, or not for seed growers, for members. And it was really cool. I went on one last year, and the amount he knows about all his varieties is really impressive. He was standing on kind of the far end of the varieties, and I was standing on the side where I could see the signs, and he knew what every variety was and every characteristic about it. So make sure you take advantage of your reps when you're selecting that. They're a really good resource. Our Wheaton Triticale, the Tyndall Triticale, and the AC Sadash were the two best there. For barley, I think obviously this stuff was on the little better piece of land, I think, with a different rotation in history and a little better fertility historically. Panoka and Copeland were the two big ones. And for the oats, Secan oats, Morgan and Bradley were the two best there. But don't rule things out. For some reason, Haymaker didn't do well here. The Secan ones are only one plot. Don't go making all your decisions based on what I say here. Haymaker, actually, I looked at some other data from those sites, and it did good in other regions and parts. So just bad year here, I guess. I was going to talk about our crop camera, but right before I put it in, he said he'd do it. So I look forward to it. We plan on installing one of those cameras at our site in Medhat, and Ken will show you more about that, I think, on the website. Basically, it'll give us the opportunity to look at our field while we're back in Lethbridge and kind of see the crop staging, maybe some other type insect damage or stuff like that. And that's it. That's all I got.